In some senses, subtracting polynomials is really no different than adding polynomials, but there is one thing to watch out for, and that is whenever you're subtracting, you're far more likely to make a mistake. And the reason for that is, let's take a look at this example. If I have one trinomial and I'm subtracting another trinomial, what I have to remember is that everything in that second trinomial is getting subtracted. So one approach to this is to get rid of the brackets, but I can't just erase them like I did in the last example with adding polynomials. I can do that for the first polynomial and end up with just 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. But I have to keep in mind that I'm subtracting everything in that second polynomial. Another way to think about it is, it's almost like I have a negative 1 multiplied by each of those three terms. So when I get rid of the brackets, I have minus x squared, all right, so x squared becomes minus x squared. 2x becomes minus 2x, and a negative of negative 3, or if I'm subtracting negative 3, I end up with plus 3. Now, at this point, it's no different than the previous video where I was adding polynomials, and I can just group the like terms. So I have the 3x squared there and the minus x squared. So those two together, I can write as 3x squared minus x squared. I've got a minus 5x and a minus 2x. So those two I can group together as minus 5x minus 2x. And then I've got a plus 1 and a plus 3. And so those become just plus 1 plus 3. So I've got my like terms grouped. 3x squared minus x squared is just 2x squared. Minus 5x minus 2x becomes minus 7x. And plus 1 plus 3 becomes plus 4. So one alternative approach is to do something similar to what we did in the last video, which is to put them vertically. But again, this is, you're going to have to be careful with this. So let's write the two polynomials, 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. And then below it we have the x squared plus 2x minus 3. And what are we doing here? We're subtracting, all right? So you want that kind of big subtraction symbol out front just to remind you what's going on. The 3x squared minus x squared, all right, that's fairly straightforward. That just becomes 2x squared. The minus 5x minus 2x. So whenever I see students do this, immediately by the time they get onto the second column, they're forgetting that they're doing a subtraction, and they do minus 5x plus 2x. But you're actually subtracting that 2x, and that's how we get minus 7x. And similarly, when we have the 1 and the minus 3, you're subtracting that minus 3. So subtracting a negative is like adding. So we have 1 plus 3, and so that becomes 4. So either way we do it, we get the same result. You should get comfortable in both ways, and then going forward, you can do it whichever way you are happier and whichever way you think makes for fewer mistakes.